Eat an orange. That's right. You can keep your clarinet from cracking by eating an orange. Actually, just eating the orange doesn't quite do it. There's a couple more steps. There's a catch involved. There's always a catch involved. You know, if you don't believe that, just watch the news. Anyway, once you finish eating this orange, preserve the peels. They're extremely valuable. Take the peels, lay them right in the clarinet case. Don't worry, you're not going to hurt the keys and you're not going to hurt the wood. Lay them right in the clarinet case, right over the clarinet if you have to, especially over this upper part. You can lay it right up here. And the moisture from the orange peels will supply the outward moisture for the clarinet that it needs to keep the moisture balanced within the piece of wood, and that will keep the clarinet from creating the tension that eventually results in the crack. So those are very good things to do. Now, I know that there's some people that say, look, I don't need all that fancy orange stuff. I can spend $5 or $10 for some kind of device that you can buy in a music store that'll keep everything moist in the case. You know, one of those little snakes or whatever, sponges. Well, you know, I used to have one of those when I played wood clarinet years ago, and the problem is it doesn't work. Well, let me put it this way. It's not that it doesn't work. I didn't work. I would put the thing in the case, I would soak it in water, put the thing in the case. The thing would dry out, and I wouldn't pay attention to it, and it would be sitting there basically dry for weeks and weeks and weeks before I got around to saying, oh, you know, I should probably soak that in water and put it back in the case. The advantage of orange peels, several advantages. One of the big advantages of orange peels in the case is that you can see them drying out. As you take the clarinet out, you can see the peels getting drier and drier. And when those peels get really dry, it's a sign that you need to eat another orange. And do the same thing, of course, with the peels. So that's a very important thing to do. And the orange peels are right there in front of you all the time. It's not so easy to forget about them. And besides, you know, most of us really kind of like eating an orange. Anyway, and the orange producers are not paying me for saying this. I want to tell you that. Anyway, the other thing that the orange peels do is they give you a signal that they're no longer needed. That's right, in the springtime or in the summertime, when you get enough available moisture in the air and indoor heating is eliminated and so on and so forth, you'll find when you open up your case, instead of having dry peels there, you're going to have peels that have a little bit of black on them. And that black is a kind of mold. And that tells you that the peels are not drying out, that there's enough available moisture in the case there so that the peels themselves don't dry out. That's a sign that there's enough available moisture in the air to keep the clarinet properly balanced in moisture. Then you can take the orange peels out and go on living as normal, if you know, as normal as a clarinet player can live, until the winter time comes, or late autumn or whatever, when the dry indoor heating starts again and the cold starts again, and then it's about time to eat those oranges. But at that time, the oranges are just coming in season, so you're in luck. There's one other subject that we need to discuss, and I think we'll be done as far as preventing cracking on the clarinet and stuff. And that subject is oiling the bore. Well, what does oiling the bore do? One of the things that oiling the bore does do, and especially in dry climates, which is where I'd recommend that it might be done, oiling the bore prevents a lot of moisture absorption. And when the upper part of the bore, and by the way, you never have to worry about oiling the lower part of the bore in most areas, but oiling the bore in the upper part of the clarinet will prevent this very upper part here from swelling up and getting soaked in water. Clarinets that have sat around for a long time without being played do pretty well by oiling them. And make sure that you do that, and do that for several days, and then wipe the oil out. Be careful not to get it on the pads and stuff. And that will protect the inside of the bore, keep it more stable. and keep and prevent the disparity that can cause problems in the piece of wood. So that's something I recommend. But you know, in climates that are warm climates, like down here in Texas and over in Florida and most of the South, you really don't have to worry about that. Now, a high dry climate, something like Colorado, Denver, somewhere around in there, arid areas and places with extreme winter and so on, oiling the bore probably helps a little bit. But the main thing, oiling the bore is no magic formula, because it doesn't completely eliminate this moisture disparity, wet on the inside, dry on the outside. That is an issue that can only be addressed by creating some kind of artificial compensation. In that case, I recommend, as I just said, I recommend orange peels. Lay those orange peels in the case. Let the moisture from the orange peels balance the moisture on the outside of the clarinet with the moisture on the inside, and you'll find that in the wintertime you'll virtually have no loose rings, and you'll have no stiff keys, and you will have eliminated about 95% of the chance that your clarinet is going to crack in the winter, in the dry, cold winter months. I want you to know that we appreciate you watching our videos. We really hope they're helpful. If you have any questions, anything you'd specifically like to discuss, write us and let us know. We'll be happy to try to address some of those problems. You know, if you're a clarinet player and you're interested in it, probably every other clarinet player is interested in it too. So we'll be happy to do anything we can do to help you have more fun playing the clarinet and fewer problems. In the meantime, drop by our website if you would. Please take a look at all our products and the different things, and we also have some educational stuff to offer there too. So if you get a chance, do that, and don't forget, if you haven't already, press that little yellow button up there and subscribe so you can get all our videos right when we send them out. And again, we thank you for watching.